In years gone by, we saw some cultures turn to mystical figures like shamans for solutions. No matter how improbable it seemed, they always had a solution at hand. Today, those rain dances have been replaced by long nights of modeling, and all of those rituals have been replaced by presentations. But even then, the lore of the leader remains as strong as ever. And with us today is a leader who, with his mettle, has proven to be a success, a model of consistency, of determination, and of succeeding, not by accident, as he might self-effacingly say, but by design. It's my great pleasure to introduce to you Mayank Kumar, the co-founder and MD of upGrad. Started in 2015, upGrad is Asia's largest integrated learning, skilling, and workforce development company. The offerings range from online and hybrid degree programs to pathway and study abroad programs, to certification and boot camps, to diploma, masters, and doctorate programs for working professionals. upGrad provides most of these programs to enterprise clients through its B2B arm, along with recruitment and staffing services. To date, upGrad has enrolled 10 million plus learners from 70 plus countries, boasting a network of 300 plus direct global university partners, a wide lineup of 2,500 plus pathway connections, 20,000 plus recruitment partners, and an enterprise arm with 3,000 corporate partners worldwide. Marksman Daily presents C-Suite Conversations. Mayank, thanks for being here with us for this next episode of C-Suite Conversations.
No, thank you for having me here today.
So, you're somebody who exists very prominently in the public eye, even though you don't do a lot of these kind of interactions and interviews. For somebody who's not quite familiar with you, right? Tell us what those who do know you would describe Mayank Kumar as.
I think, that's a tough one, but they will. And the first word that will come to the mind is reserved, introvert. But I guess introvert does not necessarily mean that you cannot have a conversation with somebody. I just derive my energy when I'm alone in private. So that definitely would be one thing that would sort of come out very strongly. And I guess the other one is going to be the fact that sometimes you could be absent-minded. But having said that, I think the passion for education, the passion for sports, the fact that you are reserved and introvert, but typically what would sort of define me from an outside-in perspective.
At a high level, you touched upon your passion for sports, your passion for education. I did read up a little bit about that before our interaction, but for those not in the know watching this, take us a bit through your formative experiences and how that eventually led to this point where you're at the helm of upGrad.
Okay. So I grew up in a very small town in Assam, which many people would not have heard of. It's a small town called Bongaigaon. Having grown there, the exposure was very limited. So for me to get into my engineering school was also a little bit by accident. So the one word that I will use as formative experience to leading to where I am right now, I would say that one word is accident, because a lot of things have happened to me by accident.
Right.
It was not planned for. I never knew that there existed these engineering institutions like IITs when I was growing up. So that happened by accident. Post that, I got into my first job at Tata's in consulting. That happened by accident because they never come to campus. I was waitlisted in my management program at ISB Hyderabad. Again by accident, I got in because I was the last one to get into the program. The consulting work that I got right after my sort of days at ISB at Parthenon Group got me into education. So, but that again happened to me by accident because I never wanted to be in education sector. And then meeting Ronnie to start up upGrad again was a coincidence that somebody connected us. So I think the word I'm using accident because for me, getting exposed to things that you are not comfortable in, or going out and trying out and getting exposure at the right level is very critical for any success in anybody's career. So for me, the fact that you were able to explore things that was not understood by you earlier, and you expose yourself to a situation which you were not comfortable in, sometimes could lead to some exponential return, versus if you are always in that uncomfortable position, you may end up getting very sort of linear trajectory in your career profile. So for me, the long answer to your sort of question is that it all happened by accident. It was nothing planned.
But a series of happy accidents.
A series of happy accidents, yeah. I think once an accident happens, you have to make it happy.
Okay.
You can't sort of run away from there.
Yeah. So looking back, are there any particular challenges or hurdles that you had to overcome along the way? And if so, what did you really learn from any of them?
I mean, some of the times the hurdles that would have come to me, given the fact that I grew up in a very small town, was just the lack of exposure. And I think that goes for most sort of Indians living in tier 2, tier 3 small towns, small villages, because exposure is limited. And I guess for overcoming that is where I feel, given what's happening with the internet economy and the digital economy, people have the ability to get exposed to too many things. And I think that's a good thing happening at this point of time. So for me, while I could say that was my hurdle, lack of exposure, but today's ecosystem are much more exposed than what I think I was when I was sort of growing up at that point of time. The second I would say is just surrounding yourself with the right set of people matters a lot more. And I guess I was lucky, fortunate to have that.
Again, a happy accident.
Yeah, happy accident, or at least like
By design to some degree?
By design to a certain degree, because you would associate with people that you would connect with. And I think that definitely was something that helped me a lot in my own journey, that you could sort of get surrounded by the right people. And again, when you surround yourself with the right people, as you asked the earlier question, that you do come up with happy accidents, or you come up and meet somebody interesting, and sometimes sort of interesting thing happens because you are surrounded by the right sort of people. The team that you build is because of people that you know.
Yeah.
And I guess I was fortunate that my co-founders who came in at the start of upGrad were people that I've worked with earlier. So I think that definitely helped in sort of building out what we're doing at upGrad. And I guess the third one for me would be just the fact that it's a long journey. It's not a 100-meter race, it's a marathon. So when it is a marathon, then many a times you will have rejections and disappointments. And therefore it's important to know that there is a destination that you're running for. So at every point of time, keep pushing yourself to sort of get to the destination as well.
Looking back, would you say that there are some key influences, some key exponents of the craft of leadership that you drew from, whose qualities you wanted to epitomize, whose qualities you wanted to best embody?
So I think, I mean, I've not looked up to one person or one or two people who I can say they are my role model. I mean, I think I have enough people in my family to look up to for that matter. But a couple of things that I will mention, because I think the second part of the question was qualities. I think looking at my dad and my granddad, my parents, my father and my grandfather, I think I'd learned the virtue of just hard work, the sheer hard work, that you may not be blessed with everything, but the fact that you have to work hard. My grandfather was a railway guard. So there again, for him, while he was working, he had to work hard to sort of get all the kids up to mark and sort of get them to right education. My dad also came from a very small school and reached up to a leading position in his organization with Indian Oil. So I think those examples showed me the fact that if you work hard, results happen. So I think that one quality that I always sort of look up to. When it comes to the entrepreneurial ecosystem, the quality that I seek and I drive a lot of energy on is about passion. I have seen most great entrepreneurs who are extremely passionate about what they do. So looking at them, I just feel that one virtue to sort of imbibe for most people out there is just the fact about passion and finding the right purpose of what you're doing. That's something that I look forward to, maybe not from one individual to individual, but a collective set of people that I've worked on. And I think from the sports ecosystem perspective, the sheer pursuit of excellence is something that gives me a lot of sort of learning, because when you're doing something, at least do the best that you can do. And I guess in today's context, given that you're so well connected, it's very easy for you to be amongst the top 1 percentile in your own profession. And people are forgetting that it never was easier for us earlier because that exposure was not there. Today, in your own profession, you can connect with the best of minds.
Yes.
Which was not that easy earlier. I think the fact that you can connect with those people, the fact that everything is available to you, we are living in an era where each one of us could be amongst the top 0.1%, aspire to be in the top 1% of what we are doing professionally. So driving and pushing for excellence is something that I definitely pick up for most sports people who are out there right now.
So if I had to ask you to look back on your journey as a person, as a professional, as somebody who's an enthusiast about sports and fitness, what kind of advice would you give to a 20-year-old Mayank Kumar if you could go back in a time capsule and talk to him right now?
So I never got, I used to run, I used to enjoy running, but I was never doing it seriously.
Right.
And sometimes things sort of takes time to sort of come to you. I was talking to my wife yesterday and I was just discussing that I actually never entered a gym till I was 35, 36, 37. I think at that age I entered, and today I'm regularly sort of going there. So I think, I can't give advices. I'm not sort of good at giving advices, but at least what I've realized over time is that you may not necessarily be knowing what your true calling is. So sometimes don't push yourself for the true calling. It comes to you over time. I mean, running has come to me over time. I mean, I ran my first half marathon in 2006-07, and then after that I did not run for 8-9 years, and then I started picking up, and every year I've been running since then. So the true calling sometimes comes much later in your life. So wait for the true calling. You don't need to jump into that over a period of time. But just being in sports, to your specific question earlier, that I think sports has also given me, feedback from a 20-year-old back that, look, once a true calling comes, then take it absolutely seriously. Because, as I said, showing up matters for me. And for the fact that every day when I wake up, I say, okay, today again 15 kilometers, who's going to run here? Let's go back to sleep. But you have to get up and you have to just go for it. And that's where once a passion has come, then you have to push yourself to just truly meet the passion. Because it's very easy to get lazy, but sometimes you have to make that extra nudge, and that only comes when you truly have taken to the calling.
It's about running that extra mile, no pun intended.
Yeah, you have to run the extra mile.
Beautiful. Lovely chatting with you, Mayank. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He might claim his life is a series of happy accidents, but success doesn't come unless it's by design, even if by fate or otherwise. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of C-Suite Conversations with Mayank Kumar, and we hope to catch you in the next one.